It's like a shark, NATO, except with poop.
This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius. I had the best words. Tolerizing. I know words. Mike Pounds. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. But there's no better word than stupid. Anonymous, really anonymous. I'm very highly educated. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. Had the best words. God bless the United States.
On the nation, Waldorf Nation. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It's Tuesday. We got a packed show for you guys today. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things. We've got first though. I believe this is the last day that I can play that intro. Oh no, say goodbye to the Trump intro. I'm going to have to come up with something new. Oh no. Damn it. Yes. It means tomorrow is the end of the Trump administration and the beginning of the Biden administration. So that's going to be very interesting. So, but don't worry, Trumpism still alive, unfortunately. Biden or Harris for the new intro? I don't know. There will be. I'm thinking of going something a little bit more inspiring. You know, maybe a little Bernie. Throw a little Bernie in there. You know, I can play till tomorrow. I can play it tomorrow till noon. Well, I'm not on at noon. So yeah, you know, might do a little something different. Instead of making fun of the idiot president, we could actually, I don't know, dream of better days. Maybe at some point. Can't take that disgusting sniffing. Yeah, I know. I hear you on that. Still, it's the end of an era. It's the end of an era. So we're, you know, obviously going to talk about Trump today. Well, I don't know if we're really going to talk about Donald Trump today, but we are going to talk about people related. For example, we've got a story about Melania, which is fun. So it's a little bit of candy. We also are going to talk about the MyPillow guy. Apparently, he doesn't like capitalism anymore because he's being canceled. Oh, fun times. I love that. We've got Fox News that's making some changes. They're making changes. What's it going to be like? What's Fox News going to be like during the Biden administration? Well, I think we've already figured out exactly what it's going to be like, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Should be a lot of fun. We have that. We've got also the Democrats being Democrats again. Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer are discussing a power sharing arrangement. Oh no. Florida doctor story. Oh no, I actually didn't. Rebecca Jones, though, has been arrested. So I do need to follow up on that. Thank you for the reminder, Dango. I'll look into that for maybe something to talk about tomorrow. So we'll do, we'll talk about that. Today, I don't know. I figured we just end the Trump administration with some fun some fun moments here, including maybe if we can get to it, a fan of Donald Trump who's a little shocked that Trump would pardon somebody who screwed them over. Yeah, fun times. Yeah, could be fun. The Senate is 50-50. This is acceptable. I would say unacceptable, but we can disagree on that because I don't think the Republicans deserve any sort of power sharing agreement at all. So, and I'm going to explain why I think that way. And of course, you can disagree with that. So, anyway, before we get into the rest of the show, please like and share the stream. Very helpful if you do that. Please, also consider super chats, donations, gifting subs if you're over on Twitch. All that wonderful stuff goes to help us out greatly. All right, that said, I don't know where Jeff's been. They haven't been any fun moments in the last 4 years. No, but making fun of it's kind of fun. So let's do it. Let's talk about the MyPillow guy. I know you're all can't wait. It appears that MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell is having a bit of a sad over capitalism. Who knew? So now, in the wake of the January 6th Capitol riots, the insurrection, the fail-rection, I should say, that the Trump fan base had, it only went up half-mast. A bit of a fail there. Just couldn't get it up all the way. Anyway, I'm gonna enough with that. Anyway, so Lindell supported that, and he's lost quite a bit of business as a result. So now he claims that he is being canceled as a result of this, and how it's so unfair. So unfair. All he did was just spread baseless conspiracy theories about voter fraud, widespread voter fraud, and the whole idea that Joe Biden is not a legitimate president. And so, these companies said, we don't want anything to do with you. We're not gonna allow you to sell your stuff in our stores. How dare you? How dare you? So now, so far, Wayfair, Bed Bath & Beyond, Kohl's, and H-E-B have all dropped MyPillow products. And this is according to Lindell himself, who told the Right Side Broadcasting Network's Brian Glenn on Monday, confirming the news later in an interview with Fox 9, saying, I just got off the phone with Bed Bath & Beyond. They're dropping MyPillow. Adding that Kohl's and all these different places are dropping the products because, quote unquote, they're scared. Scared. Yes, of course. Lindell claims the retailers are bowing to pressure from leftist groups who happen to be customers. Weird. On social media, where his continued support of election conspiracies is united calls for retailers to drop the brand. The move comes after one activist group, Sleeping Giants, called on major retailers to stop carrying MyPillow products after a video of Lindell emerged where he reportedly called for the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. So I'm not going to show you the video because it's this ranting and ravings of a madman, but then added that the group that was calling him out was the, quote, most evil people on the planet. On the planet, everyone. Adding that they're trying to cancel me out. They're trying to cancel me. Yeah, it's a little weird. Turns out, stoking an insurrection through repeated calls of conspiracy theories, right? It kind of leads some business owners who you're affiliated with to say, ooh, you know what? No, we're not interested in that. That kind of hurts our brand. You see, it turns out brands, big companies, corporations don't like talk of insurrection. They happen to like certainty and stability. They don't like political upheaval. They don't like coups. They don't like insurrections, well, at least not in the United States. In other places, they seem to be a little bit more, acceptable to them. I mean, we could talk about how Chiquita literally backed a right-wing coup in South America over bananas, literally. But that's over there. That's not here. No, it can't happen here in America. That's for other countries. That's for places that we exploit. That's not for us. We don't do that. No, please, Joe Biden, please bring everything back to normal. Please, 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 please. We need stability. So understand, what this is about. These companies see Lindell all over social media and Fox News pushing these harmful conspiracy theories that actually did incite a riot at the Capitol, a violent insurrection that killed 5 police officers, 6 people. Was it 5 police officers? No, 1 police officer, 5 people. Sorry, and made the decision that, hey, it's not worth it to have your products here, which, by the way, also kind of suck. I've never had a MyPillow. I'm not really interested in a MyPillow, but I've read some pretty bad reviews of it. And here's the thing. I wanted to like the guy, years and years and years ago, before he became a Trump supporter, right? I remember reading this guy's story back in 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. I was like, oh, okay, the guy's trying to put his life together and he's hiring ex-cons, to try to help them, get their life straight. Oh, that's great. The guy used to be a drug dealer or something. Now he's worth over $300 million and is a Trump supporter. Oh, he just traded one kind of drug for the other. This time he traded it for copium. And he's just huffing that. It's amazing. It's amazing. But here's the thing. This is what capitalism is. Being rejected by the free market. You have been rejected by the free market. Sad. Not only that, but Smartmatic and Dominion voting systems are actually threatening legal action against Lindell for spreading these conspiracies. You know the one, right? Oh, it's the ghost of Hugo Chavez himself designed the systems to go and take over elections in that country, and now Dominion has exported it here to help the Biden administration, to help the Biden campaign become the Biden administration through, these hack systems that change votes, and we caught him. No. You didn't. You didn't catch anybody. What an insane world that they live in. I mean, also insane, right, is the whole idea being spread by the right wing that Joe Biden's going to turn us into Venezuela. That doesn't make any sense. Again, if only Joe Biden were half the quote-unquote monster they believe that he is, maybe we could get some goddamn health care in this country. Wouldn't it be nice? 1 cop did commit suicide. Thank you guys for letting me know about that, or reminding me. Sometimes a little hazy on the details. A lot has happened this week. But anyway, they think Biden is some sort of authoritarian. That's crazy. That's crazy. Lindell himself, by the way, was literally photographed with a document before a meeting with Donald Trump. Can you imagine? The MyPillow guy is having high-level meetings with the President of the United States. And during that meeting, they took some photos, found out that, he had some stuff written on his notes to bring up with Trump, saying that that Trump should use the Insurrection Act now, and martial law if necessary to stay into power, as well as suggesting that Kash Patel, Trump loyalist currently leading the Pentagon, actually become the CIA director. That's some crazy stuff. That's crazy, crazy crap. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do martial law. But Biden and the Democrats, they're the real authoritarians as we try to take over the country by force. Right, of course. Ironically, you become the thing that you profess to hate the most. Or maybe unironically, because they've always been really authoritarians. I mean, it seems like everything they project upon the left, or what they call the far left, right, is, well, what they want to do to the country. I mean, they want to take over. They want to cancel the left. They don't care about the free market of ideas, because when it comes to the free market of ideas, conservative ideas always lose. And it's because their ideas only really do one thing. They really accomplish one goal, and that's to make wealthy people even wealthier. And that's really it. And then leave everyone else to kind of fend for themselves. And that's exactly, ironically, what happened to the rioters. Lindell, his $300 million ass, private jetted his, away. Like, he's gone, okay? Got in his private jet, flew away. Leaving the other people, I guess the small business owners, because nobody in that, that was involved in that riot was a regular working class person. Okay, this is not a working class riot. This is not against the bourgeois. It was the bourgeois that was pushing against the incoming new establishment. That's what that was. All right. And based on, again, nothing but ridiculous conspiracy theories. I mean, conservatives, this guy, Lindell, he's actually okay, I think, with like a lot of conservatives with crushing small businesses. Okay, they love to crush small business. They love to get monopolies, and that's totally fine under capitalism, as is not wanting your business, ironically, to sell products from a dude who's politically and socially toxic. I'm just saying. It's almost as if there's a lesson in all of this, but I doubt very much that anyone involved is actually ever going to learn it. Yeah. Lindell flew away. Didn't he take Trump with him? I don't know. All right. Go to Fox News. I thought he didn't like martial law. You know what's funny? So inside baseball to my family, right? My dad's actually a musician. I like a side music. Like, he does it for like fun side jobs, right? Or at least he used to. And he was in a band, ironically called Martial Law. So it just makes me think about that every time. Like, oh, yeah, my dad's in this band. And it's called, Martial Law. He used to be. I don't know if he's in it anymore, but kind of getting up there now. So he doesn't play music as much, but used to do that. And it's like, now I can't see the phrase martial law without thinking of that. And that sucks. That's a bad association. Very bad association. So he played keyboards, Sarge Tag. Electric keyboard. June Sackett with a great comment here. They like to pull the ladder up after themselves in every way. True. Very, very true. 90% of Trump's accusations have always been self-projections. Gene Eddy. Yes, also true. Also true. All right. Let's move on here. We have Fox News being Fox News. It appears that some things never change. As the Trump administration comes to a sad, pathetic end, and the Biden administration is set to begin tomorrow, which of course will also be kind of a letdown, I'm assuming, Fox News is getting ready to elevate possibly one of the most fervent Trump-supporting loyalists to prime time. Now, there is a list of possible people that that Fox News is going to try to put in the 7 o'clock spot. So, you've got a couple of them. You got Pete Hegseth that could possibly get in there. You got Brian Kilmeade. So, everybody prepare.
Tighten up my meat.
Yeah, you got to tighten up that meat for Brian Kilmeade.
I like my meat tight.
Exactly, he does. And so he's one of the considerations, but also a big name that's been floated is Maria Bartiromo. So she would be joining the likes of Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson in the Fox primetime spot. And it appears that some people at Fox News are not happy about this. In fact, in interviews in the Washington Post, unnamed Fox News staffers sounded off in the network's decision to get Bartiromo a tryout at the valuable 7 p.m. slot, after she, of course, had read the conspiracy theories about Dominion voting machines and Smartmatic and stealing the votes for President-elect Joe Biden. So now it got so bad that Smartmatic literally had to threaten legal action. And that got Fox News to actually stop talking about it. So great, wonderful. Now, here's the thing. The ghost of Hugo Chavez did not come back to steal votes from Donald Trump. It's ridiculous. In fact, both Biden and Trump shattered election results and records for turnout. I mean, both sides were incredibly energized. This was a very big election. A lot of people showed up. It just turns out that more people showed up for Joe Biden, especially in certain key states. Biden got, 7 million more votes than Donald Trump had, who, again, broke his own vote records in 2016 because nobody was really excited to turn out in 2016. Not for Hillary Clinton, not for Donald Trump. But again, this is an incredibly polarized time in American history. And so you had the people who were setting out to defeat Donald Trump in any way possible. And then, of course, those who were energized and were helped and did well under Donald Trump, turning out to save the new status quo. So there you go. Now, that said, Biden won, Trump lost. Them's the breaks, man. Sad. Feels sad, man. But Bartiromo, just like her peers in that time slot, kept riling up the Fox base, riling up. And again, it came to a head. And that's why staffers are now saying stuff like this, quote, "It is ludicrous and disheartening that we are rewarding Bartiromo with a primetime spot, knowing full well she is among the most responsible for propagating the big election lie." Another staffer tells the Post that Bartiromo's promotion sends a, quote, "message that they care about opinion more than news," while others speculated that Fox executives valued, quote, "sizzling hot opinion anger over hard news." Really? Oh, really? You're going to tell me that Fox News, or any media outlet, for example, that Fox News cares more about opinion than journalism? You just got that. You just got it? Where were you? Where were you for the last 8 years? Where the hell were you? Did you not pay attention to anything that was happening? Anything? It's never been a surprise. Fox News has never cared about hard news in journalism. Obviously, they're the propaganda arm of the Republican Party. That's what they were created for, is to help the Republican Party win elections by spreading propaganda. They don't care. And look, when Trump comes in office, just like any time a Republican came into office, they ended up becoming state-sponsored media. That's what it is. That's what it's always been. Yes, every time a Republican's in office, they're defending the Republican. Every time a Democrat comes in office, they're instantly against the Democrat. That's what happens. How is this a shock? How is this a shock? Now, the rest of the article, of course, goes into how Fox News is basically going that direction of putting more opinion shows on than news shows in order to kind of help their ratings and to help get their audience back, who might be a little sore from them every once in a while actually having to tell the truth that there was no election fraud. So here's an excerpt, right? For current and former Fox News employees who spoke to the Washington Post, the switch to opinion at 7 p.m. was the sign that the network's news division has lost the larger battle to the opinion division, which generates far more viewers. Shocker. It looks like the audience, it appears that they don't want to hear facts. I know, right? What they want to hear is the spin, the propaganda, because they've decided they hate facts. All right? How dare they puncture my bubble and tell me things that actually are happening, the things that are actually existing. I want my confirmation bias. I want to hear that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. I want to hear that Biden is a communist and that Hillary Clinton drinks the blood of infants. in the forced abortion camps. That's what I want to hear. Tell me that, Fox News, or I'm going to go to OAN and Newsmax. That's what it is. They'll give me the disinformation I crave because that's it. Again, people who watch Fox News or consume conservative media overall are just less informed. I'm not saying they're stupid. Nobody says they're stupid. I'm saying they just don't know what's going on because they're not getting told facts. Now, what's worse is that when you try to be like, hey, no, actually that didn't happen. This happened. This is what actually happened in this situation. They're like, no, I don't believe it because I didn't hear it from my favorite media personality. Didn't hear it from Sean Hannity. It must not be true. They live in another world, another reality that is separate to our own. That is a world that was ironically created mostly by Fox News. And so that's the problem. Now, Carl Cameron's going to go on. This is somebody who spent 22 years as a reporter for Fox News. So he was there. He was in the lion's den, okay? And he had actually retired as the network's chief political correspondent back in 2017. Here's what he said, quote, "They want to restore their conservative base. They're going to serve the people who brought them to the dance, i.e. the crazy conspiracy theorists who are now going to, and the people who want to hear confirmation bias, the ones who have threatened to go to OAN and Newsmax, the Trump base. Remember, Donald Trump is incredibly popular among the Trump base. So if Donald Trump decides to make his own news network, which it's not like he hasn't talked about it, he's going to draw a lot of people there, which could be a problem for both OAN and Newsmax as well. And so nonetheless, he continues by saying, conservatives are going to want to hear what's wrong with Joe Biden. It's easier for Fox to beat Newsmax and everybody else back into the woods than it is for them to try to compete with the real journalism networks. Now, here's the thing. In journalism, we really don't have a lot of journalism in the major news networks anymore. A lot of newsrooms have been cleared out. They no longer do investigative journalism. The best places that I find is actually more of the independent stuff that actually will look into corruption. Good source that I like to go to is, Sludge, Daily Poster, with Ken Klippenstein over at the Intercept. Those are good outlets that actually still do investigative journalism after places like the New York Times have kind of given up on it for the most part, even though every once in a while, them and the Washington Post actually will do, put out a good article and do some investigative journalism. It's not like they used to. So this is just a bigger problem all over the news, that you have a lot of opinion shows, and let's be honest, mine's an opinion show too, that have taken over. And the thing is, people like me, smaller outlets, we don't have the resources, not like the Washington Post or the CNNs or the New York Times of the world, to be able to do investigative journalism. And even they have given up on it. And obviously Fox News has as well. Not that they ever really did any investigative journalism to begin with, obviously. But anyway, that's kind of enough of me complaining about the media landscape for me. Let's get back to it. Now, again, what sucks is that they're right that Joe Biden's got problems, obviously. I've talked about them extensively during the primary, but that's actually based on, things like that are real issues. Political donations from corporations leading to influences on policy. That's not just a Joe Biden problem. That's a systemic problem, right? But it's the normal type of corruption that happens in basically every administration. It's not Trump-level corruption, which is way more open, way more transparent. You can see it. You can, it's right there. It's in front of your face. It's almost like it's taunting you, right? With the levels of corruption and grift and stealing from the taxpayer, from the government. But even in the absence of that, you still have the normal, the politicians don't really serve the people. They end up serving the corporation, all that stuff. And so the overall point is we've got a situation where a society, really serves the wealthy and well-to-do over the people. But instead, Fox News wants to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. Burisma. I mean, come on.
Burisma Bermusia. They say, pronounce it Bermusia. A real beautiful company.
Yeah, they're gonna talk about that. They're gonna talk about like it's almost like we're going back to the era of Obama in the tan suit. Instead of, hey, Obama just droned a bunch of kids in Yemen. Nope, not gonna really talk about that. That's not Fox News style because that actually does involve some investigative journalism. And so it's gonna end up being just nonsense conspiracies or equally harmless things like, can you believe Biden ate an ice cream cone the wrong way? No, come on. And Fox News will devote segment after segment after segment on it. And they're going to keep talking as well about how the election was stolen from Donald Trump. And then they're going to talk about migrant caravans and everything else. And it's just Fox News being Fox News. I mean, if you actually thought that they might have been able to shape up due to the loss of the ratings, maybe they thought, oh, maybe now is our time that Roger Ailes is gone and we've restructured the company. Maybe we can go and start to be a decent, try to be a decent news agency. Well, I got news for you. They're going back to being the opposition channel, the same as they always been, no matter what. And if you're one of the staffers who are speaking out, you know who you work for. Maybe it's time to get out. Because if you're not part of the solution, it appears to be you're part of the problem. Tan suit, affronted. Yes. We were hurt as a nation from the tan suit. You're right. Tan suit gate. And what did he also like eat a hot dog wrong or something? I don't know. It's ridiculous. In all fairness, Biden does eat ice cream super creepy. How do you not eat an ice cream cone super creepy? I don't know. But anyway, so all right. Disagree. The Intercept actually does do some good work. I don't agree with everything that they put out, but you can't limit yourself to one or two sources. Ketchup or something. Hamburger with mustard? Oh, is that what happened? Oh my God. This is ridiculous. Dijon mustard. That's what it was. Thank you, guys. Dijon mustard. Really? No, Trump ate pizza with a knife and fork. I'm just saying. Oy. So ridiculous. All right. Let's have a little fun. Let's go to Melania. Oh boy. Sorry. All right. Just one more day until the Trumps finally move out of the White House. So, both Donald and Melania. Now, Melania has already said her big goodbye. In fact, she released a 6-minute video. It's cringe. I'm going to show you some of it, because, and then I want to get and I want to go and read some reactions to it, which is really the best part. So kind of stick with me here through some of this video that I have edited down, and then we'll make fun of it.
The past 4 years have been unforgettable. As Donald and I conclude our time in the White House, I think of all of the people I have taken home in my heart and their incredible stories of love, patriotism, and determination. I see the faces of brave young soldiers who have told me with their pride in their eyes how much they love serving this country. To every service member and to our incredible military families, you are heroes, and you will always be in my thoughts and prayers. I think of all of the members of law enforcement who greet us everywhere we go. At every hour of every day, they stand guard to keep our communities safe. We grieve for the families who have lost a loved one due to the pandemic. The passion for helping children succeed has driven my policy initiatives as First Lady. I launched Be Best to ensure that we as Americans are doing all we can to take care of the next generation. Internationally, Be Best has evolved into a platform that encourages world leaders to discuss issues impacting the lives of children and allows them to share solutions. It has been an honor to represent the American people abroad.
All right, so look, that's a lot of fluffy crap. And understandably, right? That's basically the standard politician exit speech, yada yada, right? But it's really kind of tone deaf considering the mess that the Trump family actually left. I mean, she talks about how she has great respect for the troops, right? For the soldiers, and for military families. And then it makes me think of the Khan family, whom her husband bullied a bit. So it makes me think of that. And then, of course, you got the children that are in the cages, still, needlessly. And so a great many children, by the way. Also, I think about, the 400,000 people that have died from coronavirus. You also have a massive recession. You have polarization, massive political polarization as a result. And where was Be Best throughout all of this? Really? That doesn't make any sense. Be best, be best. I mean, look, Build Back Better, yeah, it kind of sucks too as a slogan, but at least it actually makes sense. Be best. When you look at the context and the entire administration, it was not be best. I think the whole theme of the presidency was go ahead and be the worst version of yourself. Be openly racist, it's fine. Be openly sexist, misogynistic, transphobic. Hate poor people. It's your right to be greedy. It's okay. Be your best. Be your best horrible self. You're the silent majority. Go ahead. Go ahead. We know you've been dying to say the N-word, so just do it. Trump will let you do it. Be best. Be your best self. Be your best horrible self. And none of what she said addressed anything that her husband said and did while in office. It's disgusting. And so why does anything that she said even matter? Well, it really doesn't. I can't wait one more day and she's gone. So now the social media responses to this are pretty fun, okay? Because she got dragged a little bit. One person says, kindness, courage, goodness, and grace don't belong in your mouth. Nor does class. By not welcoming the new First Lady, that's another thing that she did. She's not welcoming Dr. Joe Biden, into the White House. They're both basically snubbing Biden, the Biden family, as they're about to take power, and says, you have shown none of these, and that is how history will remember you. Oh, and the kids in cages. They'll write about that too. Well, she really doesn't care. Do you? Another person says, this is basically a subtweet of her husband that lists many of the reasons he's an awful human being. Be best, by the way. And then, how will we ever forget the deep wisdom and kindness of who gives an F about Christmas stuff and decorations? Ah, yes. Remember when she complained about that for Christmas? Now, look, actually, I don't think I should be as harsh on her for that, because decorating sucks. I don't decorate, even though that's part of the job of a first lady or I would assume a first husband as well, because let's be fair about that. But I don't like decorating, so I'm gonna go a bit easier on that. And finally, one person asks on this speech, can someone please dub 7 minutes of booing and fart noises over this claptrap? Well, I guess.
The past 4 years have been unforgettable. As Donald and I conclude our time in the White House, I think of all of the people I have taken home as I say farewell to my role as First Lady. it is my sincere hope that every American will do their part to teach our children what it means to be best. No words can express the depth of my gratitude for the privilege of having served as your First Lady. You will be in my heart forever. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
I mean, hey, you asked for it. You got it. You got it. Don't ask me to do this stuff. I swear I'll do it. Oh my God. Okay, anyway. And you know what? That is the way to be best right there. Literally dump Trump. Literally dump Trump. All right. Moving on here. Actually, no, we can keep going. Mike Pompeo. You were not expecting that noise. I know. One of those was a sharp All right. All right. No. I'm sorry. The comments. Oh, the comments. It's like, I'm sorry. I threw that together earlier, and I was like, all right, I got it out of my system. All right, I'm not gonna laugh. I'm not gonna laugh. The comments. He rips and he drips. Super moist. Chat, I love you, chat. I do love you, chat. Oh, okay. You're great. I love you all. Okay. I can't do this story about multiculturalism when I'm laughing. Breathe. You know what? Let me read a couple of super chats, okay? Then that'll get my mind back. All right. Sarge Check with the kind $5 says absolute proof that Trump was the worst president in history. Ignored a deadly pandemic. Tweeted like a bird brain. He left in disgrace. Worst ever. Yep. Worst ever. Tango Bango says I feel Pompeo just wants to say the N-word 2024. Isn't that all of them? Really? It's kind of what they want to do. All right. Better. Let's do it. On Tuesday, outgoing Secretary of State Mike Pompeo decided to tweet out an attack against multiculturalism. So let me show you this tweet here. All right. Oh, look at that. Censorship, wokeness, political correctness. It all points in one direction, authoritarianism cloaked as moral righteousness. And this is from his official, government account. Official. And he says wokeism, multiculturalism, all the isms. They're not who America is. They distort our glorious founding and what this country is all about. Our enemies stoke these divisions because they know they make us weaker. Wait, what are you saying multiculturalism makes us weaker, or pointing out how actually no, what you're saying about multiculturalism is wrong? It turns out it's actually a good thing. Wait, what? Okay, so America, I don't know if you know this, but America is actually built on multiculturalism. In fact, American culture, as I see it, is a mishmash of different cultural ideas borrowed from all over the world. In fact, we have a smorgasbord of different ideas, words from different languages, and things from, traditions from different cultures. I mean, that's what America is. We literally have the pick of the world for all the best stuff. So we should actually do it. Instead, morons like Mike Pompeo are like, no, the isms are bad, except for the fash one. I like the fash one. Oh, do you? Do you? Yes, great. And furthermore, by the way, America, while it has a history of also having xenophobia at times, look at it like when they banned the Chinese back in the 1800s, when they banned different social, groups or ethnic groups and things like that. Before then, even the Italians, and then they decided, oh, yeah, well, it looks like you're white enough, so good enough. We'll find someone else to hate. But in between those times, America's actually had a lot of cultural diversity, and there's a lot of good things that have come from that. And Pompeo, though, represents the people that supported xenophobia. I mean, he thinks other cultures are bad because they're not us. That's no. And this is ironically coming from the Secretary of State. This is somebody who's supposed to be working on behalf of the United States with other countries. His job is to deal with foreign affairs, and yet he is sounding like a fascist. I mean, he is using the rhetoric of the far right. As Bo the Fifth Column notes on Twitter, you do realize the fact that we were multicultural was one of the arguments used by Thomas Paine to start the revolution, right? Acknowledging our multiculturalism predates the Constitution. It's literally a founding principle. Sit down. Please sit down and stop being a terrible person. Oh, you might as well also never talk again, because every time you say something, Mike Pompeo, you literally say something horrible. Okay. Devin Nunez-Cal, which is fun, says, if multiculturalism isn't who we are, you need to go back to Italy. Native Americans are the only culture. Turnabout is fair play. Yes. Another person adds, think about it. The Secretary of State, on an official account, just essentially formalized white supremacy, racism, and discrimination as official U.S. policy. Now let it sink in. Well, I mean, look, that's what the Trump administration has been doing for quite some time, for the entire administration. Mike Pompeo was chosen because of that, and also because he is a Trump loyalist and a sycophant, somebody who has never said anything bad against the administration, against the president. And also, by the way, Mike Pompeo is an incredibly terrible person. He's a ghoulish person. He was one of the architects of our terrible foreign policy that ended up getting us into wars. He's somebody that looks forward to the end times and is trying to make that happen. This is not somebody that we should ever take seriously or should ever have a serious position. And yet there is talk that this guy is looking to run in 2024. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Because again, Donald Trump was bad enough. Imagine if we had a competent fascist. And I don't necessarily know how competent Mike Pompeo is, but I mean, not interested. So one more here. As somebody points out, the name Pompeo is Italian. Generations ago, people would have made these same racist dog whistles about you. It's true. It's true. Thankfully, right now he's done. He's out of power. This fascist, fanatical, end times ghoul will not be in power anymore. Good riddance to this garbage, and hopefully he doesn't run in 2024. Is if not, I would hate to see this person get any more, actual power in this country. All right. Let's go to power sharing. This is an idea that I don't like, and I will explain why. Following the wins in Georgia, which created an evenly divided Senate chamber, you have Senate Democrats under leader Chuck Schumer are now in discussions with Mitch McConnell for a power sharing agreement. So they're gonna share power. So I'm gonna break down exactly what that means and why I think it's a bad idea. So now the top two Senate leaders are nearing a power sharing agreement to hash out how the evenly divided chamber will operate. Democrats will be in charge of setting the schedule, but both parties are likely to hold an equal number of seats on Senate committees, according to sources familiar with the talks. The negotiations between Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and Republican leader Mitch McConnell have been built largely around how the Senate operated the last time the body was split 50-50, when George W. Bush initially became president in 2001. So now, how did that go? Well, the entire Bush administration was a colossal disaster. That's how we ended up blowing a surplus and going into two unfunded wars, 9/11, all that stuff. And so that doesn't really have anything to do with the power sharing in that case. Although I'm sure some decisions to, for example, allow giant tax cuts for corporations, the Bush tax cuts, to go through. So, okay, not good, right? Also, by the way, it's also not 2001 anymore. The parties have veered both to the right quite a bit. Now, of course, Bernie Sanders, Democrats are trying to pull the Democratic Party back to the left a bit, which is having a little bit of success, but not a lot. We definitely need to do more. But okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Now, similar to the rules set in January 2001, according to CNN, Schumer and McConnell aides are discussing allowing bills and nominations to advance to the Senate floor, even if they're tied during committee votes. Something that could become common given that each party is expected to have the same number of seats on committees. Democrats will hold the chairmanships of the committees, giving them power to set the agenda, and Schumer will be granted the title of majority leader since Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will cast the tie-breaking votes on the floor. And of course, they have to go and ratify these procedures, but that's expected to occur once Schumer and McConnell have finalized their agreement. So my question is why? Now, I get it. If we had a normal functioning government with a normal functioning Republican Party that wasn't insane, and an actual left party as well, then I could see something like this being like, okay, we've got divided government. We're going to have to work with each other. Let's figure something out. But the thing is that we don't have a functioning Republican Party. It's why would you allow McConnell and Republicans to have seats on committees? If you can control who goes on the committees, then why would you put Republicans in there? Did Republicans do that? Maybe I'm missing how this works. All right. And maybe there's something that I'm missing here about how chairmanships and, I mean, not just chairmanships, but who is able to sit on committees, right? But from what I understand, if you have the majority, which you do functionally with Kamala Harris, and you're the majority leader, then you get the rules. You get to set the rules, and you get to appoint people to committees. And I'm sure, it involves votes, but why would you put Republicans who you can't trust on committees? Doesn't make any sense. And the thing is the big thing that sticks out about this for me is that the thing, like, if you go trying to look for bipartisanship with Republicans, you're not going to find it. You're going to find a gridlock because the Republican Party is not a normal party. They don't like you. Okay. Just weeks ago, the hundreds of congressmen tried to overturn an election based on conspiracy theories. I mean, Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Josh Hawley were part of this. Okay. And I think Senator Ted Cruz should be investigated and brought up on charges if they are found, Hawley as well, if they are found to have incited this coup, this insurrection. They should not be given committee assignments. The El Paso Times, by the way, just became the third major Texas newspaper to call for Ted Cruz to resign. His actions contributed, this is according to them, to a violent uprising against the U.S. government. We call on law enforcement officials to thoroughly explore Cruz's role in inciting the insurrection. But instead of doing that and having, accountability, the Democrats are like, here, let's share power. Kumbaya. Let's hold hands in front of the campfire and roast marshmallows together All while, of course, McConnell's over there sharpening the knife to put in Schumer's back. You know how this goes. You know how this is. All right? That's the thing. Did you guys literally forget what happened, not just on January 6th, but in the years leading up to that? Why? Why? Unlike most Republicans, Democrats in Congress are taking the high road for the sake of America. But where does the high road with people with bad intentions ever lead you? The Republicans don't have good intentions. Why would you play the high road? Why would you take the high road with the people who want to destroy you? Again, if we had a functional party, then yes, and a functional government, and a Republican Party that's not based on nihilism and giving everything to the wealthy donors, then okay, we could talk about doing a sharing agreement in this kind of situation. But again, we don't have that. We don't have any of that. That is the problem. We have an extreme right-wing fascist party, and then we have basically a socially liberal diet Republican Party. We don't have true leftist representation in government. The very few are located inside the Democratic Party. But the whole of the Democratic Party is still conservative, generally, at least when it comes to economic issues. They're all avowed capitalists, not for social democratic reforms. And so again, why? Why? Why would you work with the extreme far right who wants you destroyed? And again, you might say, well, Mitch McConnell was against the coup. He denounced it openly. That's because Mitch McConnell is not an idiot. All right? He knows how to save his own ass. And he knows how to save the establishment wing of the party. Mitch has always looked out for Mitch. Mitch has always looked out for his power, and he's always looked out for his donors. And so, yeah, he looks at this and he says, well, yeah, we lost, and he's still giving us power? Well, shit. Great. I'll take it. I'll take that power, and then I will use it to stab you in the back later. I will stop whatever and block whatever you bring to the floor. And that's what's going to happen. And also, by the way, what makes you think Mitch McConnell won't do that, especially if it leads to Democrats getting wiped out in the midterms? I feel like we've seen this movie before. Many, many times, for example. And Chuck Schumer is yet handing him a tool to help him obstruct. Help him. Has he learned nothing for the last 12 years? At least 12 years. Obama's first term said, Obama, you're going to be a one-term president. That is my number one priority. Not helping the country, not doing anything, to help the people. No. I don't care about the people. All I care about is winning. All I care about is winning. And that's it. I mean, that's who Mitch McConnell is. There was no reaching out to Democrats. There was no attempts to power share. No. It's there's only power. Power is power. And Mitch McConnell is more than happy to wield it, and yet the Democrats are unwilling to do so. And that's why the Democrats are terrible. They refuse to be ruthless. I mean, again, by ruthless, I mean not to the American people, but in a way of using your power effectively to actually get things done or to actually do the most good. We've seen McConnell do everything in his power to try to do the most bad, and yet Schumer continues to reach out again and again and again when the people put Democrats in power. This is a recipe for a midterm wipeout in the Senate for Democrats and 4 years of gridlock. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll own up to it. But I know who the Republicans are, and I'm pretty sure I know who the Democrats are at this point. And I know that the Democrats are not going to be treated fairly because they never are. And I know that because the Republicans have never changed, and they never will change. There's no reason for them to change. Even though they lost, they will do anything that they can to get their power back, even if it means hurting the people, because they don't care about the people, just their own power, just their own donors, which is why we need to get rid of not just Mitch McConnell, but we need to get rid of Chuck Schumer as well. We've got to get rid of Chuck Schumer. We've got to do some primaries. We've got to get people who are progressives into actually try to change the system. If you don't do that, you're going to keep seeing this happening over and over and over again. Yes, they're going to sabotage anything Joe Biden because that's exactly what they plan on doing all along. You can't share power with people that want to destroy you because they're going to, well, because they're going to destroy you with whatever power they have. Are Dems good at fighting progressives? Yes. Are they good at fighting conservatives? No, because they don't try. Because they generally try to agree and reach out to conservatives. Joe Biden wants the same things as Republicans? Not exactly true. On economic issues, definitely. I would say that they have a lot. But when it comes to things like climate change, no. You understand, Republicans don't believe in climate change. They don't believe in any regulation, anything like that. Democrats do to a certain extent. They're still super business friendly and corporate, of course, but they also believe in reality. And in reality, nobody is served if we destroy ourselves through climate change. That said, they don't have the balls enough to stand up and actually do bold things like a Green New Deal. They think, no, we can be technocratic here and introduce things slowly. Yes, we'll do the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. And then that will work because eventually in 22, 26, we're going to get change. That's not the way that it works. Republicans don't believe in gravity. I don't know if it's that bad, but they don't believe in science. They don't believe in, things like, as I said, climate change, education, anything like that. It's not it is a spectrum. No, it is a spectrum. I don't think you're right about that. I think the problem, like a big problem in discourse right now, is that everything is considered to be black and white. Not realizing the reality that the Dems are empty. I'm sorry, have you listened to anything that I've said? Really? It's reality. It's the reality of the situation. I feel like they're more ideologically aligned with Republicans than they are with progressives. The social issues, I wouldn't say the social issues are fodder either. They're wedge issues. Republicans use them as a wedge in order to drive people up, to drive the working class voters apart, based on these ridiculous issues. But I think generally, yeah, most Democrats are in favor, or at least don't care about things like, hey, LGBT rights. People aren't listening to what I'm trying to say. Nuance goes over some people. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you all. I do. But like, you have to be able to talk about nuance. And you have to understand nuance. I think a lot of them do. I just think that what they're doing is not good enough. I think that some Democrats really do believe that they're doing the right thing, but they also have been duped into this idea that they can't do too much too fast, that they can't be big and bold, right? That they're not able to do that. They buy into the conservative framing and mindset. I actually do think that there are politicians out there that are Democrats that actually do want to do good things, but are afraid, like, oh man, if I move too fast or push too hard, then it's gonna fail, and then I'm not gonna do anything. I want to push for as much as I can, but I can't have it go. I can't overreach. It's that technocratic stuff. It's the stuff where, they're just unable for one reason or another. And maybe it's excuses. Maybe they don't want to do the hard work. They're afraid to be assertive. That's another good example. I'm not going to go and paint everybody as horrible. And so there are, I think, good people with good intentions in power who don't do good enough. And I want to, the main conversation we need to have is being able to convince normal people, normal Democrats, right, who actually do say they want things like Medicare for all. But their main question is, well, how can we do it? Cable news keeps telling me that we can't ever do anything anything like this, that it's too expensive, that we can't afford it. We need to explain how we can actually get these things done. And there are explanations. Bernie Sanders has done a lot of that. Other politicians have done a lot of that. We need to get the normies on board, and we need to get the normies to see how bad the system is in respect to other countries, for example, that have these similar things. Things like, universal healthcare, like that. If we don't get it through, our elected officials, then we're going to primary them, and then we're also going to go out in the streets, and we're going to protest them, and we're going to fight for it. And that's the whole thing. And I know I give too much on trying to convince people that I think are already on my side. What we need to do is, again, how can they not see it? Because they're not plugged in Koru. There's a lot of people that miss very obvious things. And it sucks, but we need to because you and I, we're all we're deep into this. We're deep into this politics thing, okay? But not everybody is. Not everybody knows about this stuff, and they just we'll hear buzzwords, okay? They'll hear buzzwords on news, in the media, and they'll hear some pundits saying, "Well, we can't just do this. We've got we've got the national debt, and we got the deficits and things like that." And they're like, "I don't know. I guess we got deficits. I guess that's why I can't have healthcare." It kind of sucks. Would be really nice if I had. Now, you're right. The media does help obfuscate the reality of the situation. Thank you. I agree with that 100%. 100%. And so we need to cut through. I told you the media is the biggest enemy to progressive values, because that's how you get out your message. And our message needs to get out there, but it also has to appeal to normal people, to regular people who are not plugged in. And I feel like that's where Republicans are the most successful, because they are able to tailor those messages in bite-sized formats for normal people, regular people to go, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." We need to do the same thing, but with our message, our policies, and how we're actually going to get it done to be able to answer all the questions. Pretty clear that people aren't very bright. People are misinformed. People are misinformed. Dems allow the right to frame their own policy argument, and the MSM helps to do it. True. 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 So, yeah. Again, buzzword bingo where you can never win the pot. A lot of great comments about this. Citizens United sucks. Also, Bloody versus First Bank. That also sucks. The decision, what was it, where corporations were people with speech rights also sucks. So, yeah. Also true. Yes. Yes, they are. Can't believe so many U.S. citizens believe in lies. Or not, and yeah, I mean, over 70 million people, 75 million people, believe the stuff that's spewed on Fox News, which is not true. And then you also have, the centrist news, MSNBC, talking about how, yeah, these good things are good, but we just can't do them. This is an opportunity to hold major media accountable with their sponsors and their message. True, which is what I'm going to try to do the best I can. So, and that's really all I can do as a small independent creator. Let's see. Dango Bango says the dumps left a smelly mark in U.S. history. Oh, it's so good. Oh, so good. I have a question. I keep hearing people talk about having a mass strike. Okay, so the thing about that is, what we need to do, if we're going to do that, we need to organize. We need to have a method to organize. Traditionally, massive strikes had a lot of support from unions. Okay. But most corporations make you sign something where you can lose your job if you go on strike. Yeah. I mean, either, people would have to I feel like that's something that you would need to bring up to the National Labor Relations Board. One of those groups, or labor groups, or union groups. I mean, the first step I think we need to do is we need to get unions back in this country. And that's unfortunately, a much longer way of getting things done. But we don't have the union power at this point. Unions are the ones that typically led the strike. Quake. Decentralized social media platform. I mean, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look. So how's this supposed to happen even with organizing? Like, we'd be starved out before any of our demands could be met. I mean, that would involve, I would think, a massive, like, effort that's a massive collaborative effort to make sure that people had the ability to sustain this, you know, to sustain themselves. And that would be, again, through collective action, people making sure to take care of each other, an organized labor strike. Yeah, the organization will take time. True. So I'm going to have to talk to people about organizing something like this, because I've never done organizing myself. But it is something that I think we need to do as a country to actually try and, you know, flex what little power we have in order to get some changes. The fact that we don't have unions on our side anymore and don't have enough unionization in this country is a big limiting factor to that. The left isn't prepared, unions and leftist organizations. Yeah, true. Let's see, I was really most financially stable enough to take care of ourselves. Also true, but again, when a lot of these movements tend to happen when people are at their most desperate and don't get any help too. I mean, desperate people end up making desperate decisions, and sometimes that does lead to positive social change. And unfortunately, it might actually get to that point. I'm hoping that it doesn't, that we can make electoral reforms before that happens. But again, if it's going to happen in that way, then I guess it's going to happen in that way. Anyway, I got to get through, I got to get to editing here and, you know, getting the stuff posted up online and all that and doing the rest of my day. So that said, we're going to raid, probably raid into the Surf's Twitch. That's cool. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, share the videos, share our live streams as well, all that wonderful stuff. That goes to help us. If you can, become a patron. If not, that's fine. Something that I need to, I feel like I should stress, if you can give, I appreciate it. If you can't, don't worry about it. Please, for the love of God, take care of your family first. I don't want to take donations from people who can't afford it. So I know a lot of you are going through a really, really tough time right now. I hear you, and I've been through tough times myself. So please, you know, if you want to help the show, most important thing to do is to like and share, and continue watching and continue supporting the show. With that said, thank you all. No, the closing sounds do not have to change. We can still keep those. All right. Thank you all. Love you. I really appreciate you all. We will see you tomorrow. We'll have another great show for you all today, tomorrow as well. And hopefully you enjoyed the show today. And we will see you later on. Love you guys. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, everybody.
Please clap.
It's like Sharknado, except with poop.
Why? You're getting nervous, man.
Oh, wow, I'm sorry.
Tolerate. I like my meat tight. Tighten up my meat. Silence.
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.